This short lecture introduces the key types of evaporation. On land, from vegetated soils, there are three key types of evaporation. Precipitation that is intercepted by vegetation may evaporate back into the atmosphere, interception evaporation. Water evaporates from a wet soil surface, soil evaporation, or water evaporates through plant stomata, thus from within the plant, transpiration. On a global scale, about 57% of all precipitation on land evaporates. 112% of the precipitation that falls on the oceans evaporates. This percentage is larger than 100 because rivers deliver additional water to the oceans. Also, in warm, dry climates, up to 96% of the yearly precipitation may evaporate. Evaporation thus constitutes an important part of the hydrological cycle. A twofold distinction of evaporation at the land surface can be made. Potential evaporation is the maximum evaporation rate in millimeter per day when the moisture content of the soil and vegetation conditions do not limit evaporation. In other words, under unstressed conditions. Actual evaporation is the evaporation rate in millimeter per day under existing atmospheric soil and vegetation conditions. The atmosphere may be humid, the soil may be dry, and/or plant stomata may be closed. These are all circumstances that limit evaporation. The actual evaporation is therefore always less than or equal to the potential evaporation. The reference crop evaporation is the potential evaporation in millimeter per day of an idealized grass crop that serves as a reference value for determining the potential evaporation of other crops. A low-budget and direct way to obtain some measure of the evaporation rate on days with no precipitation is to use a pan filled with water and to measure the height of the water in the pan for 2 consecutive days at exactly the same time. The difference in height in millimeter divided by the time interval in days yields the pan evaporation in millimeter per day. The open water evaporation is the rate of liquid water transformation to vapor from open water in millimeter per day. In part because of the warming of the sides of a pan by solar radiation, the pan evaporation in millimeter per day will generally be higher than the open water evaporation in millimeter per day from a lake nearby. When we rank the evaporation types that we just discussed, going from high to lower millimeter per day values, the next sheet shows the general ranking that we would obtain. Pan evaporation will generally be higher than open water evaporation, which in turn will be higher than the reference crop evaporation. The reference crop evaporation is the potential evaporation of an idealized grass crop, and this reference crop evaporation serves as a reference value for determining the potential evaporation of other crops. So this potential evaporation usually is smaller. Potential evaporation is the maximum evaporation rate when moisture content of the soil and vegetation conditions do not limit evaporation. And the actual evaporation is the evaporation rate under existing atmospheric, soil and vegetation conditions. The actual evaporation is therefore always less than or equal to the potential evaporation.